Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone had a good weekend. This is a new week, and I'm going to be sharing my outlook for the week, what I'm going to be expecting in price, what I'm anticipating, and what I'll be looking forward to seeing. Okay, so here's the monthly time frame on the dollar, the XY. I'm starting this analysis from the monthly because it's a new week on a new month, right? We're 4 5 days into the new month of November, and it's almost the end of the year. So it's only right to look at it from a macro perspective, from a higher time frame perspective. So looking at this, what I can see is, well, here's January, right? The month has been, well, the whole year has been a small range year relatively, right? If you look at 2022, it was pretty much a straightforward bullish year, right? Then we saw, some correction towards the end of it. But 2023 started as a consolidation, then in the middle of the year, dropped down to create the low of the year. And you see a run up higher. You can think in terms of power of three, accumulation, manipulation, distribution high, right? Or open range, run to make the low, run up to make the high, and we'll be looking to make the close next month, December. And so not a lot to discuss on the monthly time frame. I'm going to show you what I have marked out. So see price around sell stops here, sell side liquidity, then reverted to buy side, run up into this inefficiency. Right? That's a CB coupled with a small volume imbalance. And we're seeing a rejection from there, right? Got the high of October there, then November opened a few days ago. And we see this huge displacement, right, through NFP. So now we have a BC here, a bullish fair value gap. And you might be thinking that should automatically send price higher. Price should just go deliver into the imbalance and continue higher. But that's not necessarily what must happen, right? There are multiple things that could happen. Price could be reaching for the low end of that fair value gap, which is the high of this candle, right, to fill it and still go higher, right? Or price could just be reaching into a discount of the dealing range. The dealing range is this low to this high. And right here is equilibrium, right? That's the 50% points of the dealing range, right? So that's fair value, right? Via equilibrium, right? So, uh, and there's this bullish order block, right? So for me, I'll be looking for price to trade lower and into this, not just into this, because a lot of people might just be looking for a shallow, retracement. But the thing is, this I'm going to go down into, the weekly, the daily time frame, and you see there has not been a lot of time spent. This is a monthly candle, remember that. So there's still a whole lot of time for this candle to be complete. You can't just assume that price drops and resumes higher this week. This was just 1 week's price action. And in fact, if you really look at it, it's more like a day or a few days because This huge drop was highly influenced by NFP, and you know what NFP could be used for, right? Manipulation. So manipulation not necessarily in the sense of just run lower to run higher, right? It could run lower, then seek to spend time within this range, right, before going higher, or actually continue lower to to a discount before continuing on the upside, right? So there's no need to rush and just assume that the fair value gap is going to hold, right? Price could still go to the low end of the fair value, go below it and make it weak and still close in the fair value gap. That's a possibility, and that will give a sign for bullish continuation. But until then, we'll have to see, and we can't just assume it's you know just an institutional order flow entry drill, and we'll be ready to go higher. Remember, this is also a higher time frame PDRA, right? This CB. So that the influence of that is something that I'm looking at. Price has run up from here up there, and I think this is going to be a deep retracement. Down to the weekly time frame. This price swing is the most recent, right? That's the most recent price swing that led up, well, the swing low that led up into this premium, right? So here's that monthly time frame equilibrium, right? Basically the equilibrium from this low to this high. That's the midpoint. And this low is just right below that. So if I'm looking for, internal range liquidity, that will be a target, right? That's a target. And we have, this breaker also, right? So all these things line up and makes me not just see price, stopping right here. And also this, well, from here to here, we have this equilibrium right here. We have a close below that, which is powerful. Although it's a shallow close, but it's also a close below the previous week's low, and it's a weekly close. That's a very um huge show of bearishness, right? So I want to at least see next week, which is this new opening week, right? At least trade below this. So, but I don't think it's a situation where we just trade below this turtle soup and start going higher. That's a lot of displacement. When I say displacement, not necessarily the three candles. We don't have the three candles yet, but well, this week is going to show us that. So I want to see lower prices in dollar going forward. Targets will be this high, equilibrium, this low, right? And we could get into this bullish order block, right? Let me see if I have anything on the daily time frame. Pretty much, I'll keep it on the weekly time frame. We can say, here on my if you see my chart from last week, I cleared up all the annotations. I had this dealing range, right? This was the dealing range. Price was held here, ran the low, then it ran up, and we see a uh run on buy stops, right? So purge and revert, turtle soup, consolidation, a purge, and a huge drop lower without breaching that dealing range high, right? I would have, for some time I thought price might want to go even higher, but Now, what I'm thinking is we might have the high of the year, right, in dollar. The top might have formed just for the year. I'm not calling it the top on dollar overall because remember, it's if you look at dollar, it's ultimately been bullish since 2021, right? So this is a retracement, accumulation, higher, retracement lower, and we might see a continuation first quarter of 2024. So it's too early to be calling the top. A lot of people are trying to go short, you know, fighting against the trend, fighting against order flow. There's no need for that, right? I only trade and analyze with the data that I see on the chart. So we have a huge shift in market structure, right? Had a break in this low, ran higher. Now we had a break of this low again, right? And now with a close on the weekly um time frame is actually huge, right? That this is a bearish order block, right? This candle price traded below that, confirmed the order block, traded back into it, basically back to the opening price of it, right? Then we got NFP. This was Friday. Cent price lower. That's a huge, sentiment shift. So from there, delivery state has changed, to bearishness. So I'll be looking for sell side delivery and looking forward to attacking sell stops, right? So sell stops here, filling bullish buy side imbalances, right? Buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiencies. I want to see them get filled. So that means as price is going lower, I'm not necessarily looking for these BCs, right, or bullish fair value gaps to be respected. I'm trying to see them actually be used as inverted fair value gaps, right? So when price trades, say here, I don't want to see, that sending price higher for buy side liquidity. I want to see it used as a mechanism to go even lower. And ultimately, I'll be looking for sell side liquidity here, right? Equilibrium here. Um, so my bias for using all this confluences and all the things I'm seeing, I'll be looking for bearishness in dollar for this week. And bearishness doesn't necessarily have to be a large range week like this one. Remember, this week had NFP as a catalyst, right? It could be a small, it could be a smaller candle, probably somewhere here, delivery here, and maybe the week after we could see even lower delivery. But that doesn't matter. I'm looking for lower prices, right? For the month of November, lower prices until these discount levels are reached, right? Equilibrium first, then here, I'll see if it wants to actually get here. When these prices are reached, then I can start looking forward to seeing, price go higher. So I'll look for price to, give me confirmation that the things I want to see are valid. And of course, invalidation would be price trading above this high. Pound dollar, euro. No, I meant euro pound actually. Euro pound. What am I saying here? Well, what I'm seeing here is basically run on stops, trade higher into premium, more premium, this CB, right? If you look at the bodies here, it kind of aligns with the main threshold of this sell side imbalance. I said inefficiency. Um, we have this looks like it's forming a swing high, and like I said on dollar, it's too early to determine, right? But let's go to the weekly time frame. We have a run on stops here, right? Run on 2 weeks ago, the high that was from 2 weeks ago. This happened NFP week. I believe that was, the manipulation phase that we had. This as consolidation or accumulation. Manipulation higher than running lower. Right? Targets will be sell side liquidity here below this low. And why I'm just doing this, what that's telling me is it's just basically, well, euro is going to be weaker than pound. And if I'm expecting weakness in the dollar, that means the pound is going to be the stronger and more dynamic um, pair to buy, right? To go long on. So here we have discount, right? Premium discount. So this low is right below in the discount level. So I want to see price trade there. Not necessarily this week, but this by the end of this month we can see, weakness in euro pound. So the major currency I'll be looking to trade will be GBP USD cable. Right. Moving to euro dollar fiber. That's what I have on the monthly time frame. Also a small range here for euro. This is January. Um, Consolidation ran up to make the high of the year in July. Made a swing high for the lower, attack the initial low of the year, right? From the total shipping previous month of September. And looks like it's reverting higher. Higher to where? Well, buy side. Where can we see, or what are we looking for? We're looking for premium arrays, right? Internal liquidity and inefficiencies. Previous month's high, that's October's high, it was a, first, target for that. Just like the dollar animation, this also was very, very much affected by NFP. I'm going to show you the singular. This was Friday, NFP's action. So you can see how November, right? November open here, Wednesday, Thursday, then we had NFP just rally straight up. Okay, back to the monthly time frame. So I'll be looking forward to seeing the premium high of this fair value gap get touched. Not necessarily saying it has to be straightforward up to that this week, but um, at least my target, buy side target for this week will be the previous week's high, as last week's high will be target for, you know, for buy side this week. But for the low of the week to form, we could see, price trading lower to this, the fair value gap low, the midpoints of this week, right? The previous week, um, previous candles week, right there. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out. So, but I'm mainly looking for bullishness, right? Let's go to Forex Factory and see what the events, the economic calendar has. Oh, there was daylight saving today, so the time in the United States, well, most of the states was shifted back by an hour. Um, so that's what we're having here, and we'll be having some news Monday. London session some hours from now on the pound. I don't really care about it because I won't be trading London Monday. Australian dollar. FOMC speaker on Tuesday. This I don't really expect like a lot of movement from that. British pound speaker, Fed chair for the dollar on Wednesday. Thursday, unemployment and Fed chair. Then Friday we have retro. So it looks like it, well, pretty decent week if you ask me. I don't. It's nothing that looks crazy. There's no, FOMC. I know the Fed chair is speaking, but if I think, right, I think any form of like heavy manipulation or um manual intervention was already done in NFP, right? I think that has happened during NFP. So I think we should still get good delivery, right? The algorithm should still deliver price effectively. And this to me looks like it's going to be an easy read. Um, Honestly, I could try to decipher and, well, anticipate the exact weekly profile for this week, right? But I think that's going to take more time than I want to spend on this analysis. As you see on the dollar, I stopped on the daily time frame, so it's more like a general overview, and I'm giving my bias, right? My weekly bias on on the week. So basically, the major expansion, if I'm looking for a one shot, one kill type of trade, short term trade, as this is what all I need for that, right? For the intraday, I'll be required to go, well, number one, use the weekly profile and go on the lower time frames, for some deeper analysis on the small time frames for PDRAs but I'm trying to record just a short video to show my thought process on what I'm looking for on the higher time frames. So, currently in a discount of this daily range from this high to this low, as you can see. So, delivery state has changed to bullishness. We'll be looking for buy side delivery. First target here would be, well, filling this sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, get to the premium high of that. Then we get into equilibrium of the daily range and a premium array. Right, these three candles here are a bearish order block. That we could be seeing um, rejection from, right? Seeing a reaction from. In fact, I'll be looking forward to seeing a reaction from these three consecutive candles. But when is that going to be? That's further down the line. That would be, weeks and or a few months from now, actually, because the year is coming to an end. It's November. We have December. Then, well, we'll be seeing what happens in the first quarter of the year if price wants to retrace from here or actually continue going higher on the euro, right? If you look at this, it looks like a market maker buy model, right? Um, but for now, I'll be aiming for equilibrium and this midpoint of that week. So daily time frame, I don't think I have any a lot of things. for the daily time frame other than just this fair value gap here. Then what's the discount level that I'm looking at where where we could see the low of the week form, right? Looking for the low of the week to form. Most of the time between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? So somewhere here, the low of this fair value gap, or might actually go all the way down here. And was that? That's the midpoint of this week. Okay, then trade higher. Uh, Going into pound dollar. Let's see. All right, so here I just marked out what's PDRA price reached for, and well, ignore the week, right? That's a very long week, price reached for that, and the body of this candle. But ultimately, if you look at the bodies, line up perfectly with the midpoint, the consequent encroachment of that sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. And we see a strong displacement downward for a discount. One signature you can see is it actually reached below the main threshold of this bullish order block. Right, we have a close. If you measure, mm, mm, all right, so you see the candle closure below the main threshold of that bullish order block. So that's indicative that price could later trade lower to attack these lows, and down here, right? But for now, short term bias and anticipation. I'm looking for buy side, right? I'll be aiming for the high of this sell side imbalance buy side inefficiency for you know the month of November and into December if it takes that long to get filled, right? So, but um, intermediate, well, short term bullish on foreign currencies, basically. And this is pound dollar, right? So we have equilibrium of this billion range higher than just above that um, premium high. Okay, let's see what can be found on the daily. One thing is depending on the the frame of you know delivery, right? How much expansion we get, price could reach up to that this week, right? But if it's a smaller range week, who knows? We could just stay right in here. There's this small fair value gap in there, right? So price could just range between there and here. So the range at which price is going to trade is going to be determined by how large it wants to expand, and also do we get the low of the week first, or do we get the high of the week first? We already had the large range week, so I'm not necessarily expecting the most bullish, you know, of movements, but I also have to consider that pound is the stronger pair, right? Stronger than the euro, as we've seen, well, as indicated by the euro pound cross pair. So this will be, a target for this week, and above that will be this up here. course, these ideas will be invalidated if we have like, you know, a close below, say, midpoint of this, right? If I were close below here, I wouldn't really be looking for upsides anymore. I'll be looking for sell side. All right. Honestly, I don't really look, much into anything lower than these higher time frames for my first weekly analysis because, well, I have to see, or at least I would like to see the market really open up and let me see what Monday does. Not like I can go in for scalps, but when I see what Monday's price action does, then it's kind of easier to, you get a higher probability read into the rest of the week. That's like a cheat code, it's easier to determine the weekly profile for the rest of the week. Just like when you allow Asian session play out, and if you let London session play out, you kind of have an easier read into what New York is going to give you. So here we have this high, we have this low, we have this higher high, price breaks lower. That's a breaker, right? That's a bearish breaker. So that could be extended here, and we could be looking, for price to reach up into that. Okay, so when you see me do this magnet for like my drawn liquidity, that is my drawn liquidity, right? These levels up here. Okay, so that's the drawn liquidity. Not again, I'm not saying that must be reached this week, but long term, I'll be looking for buys, buys, buys. I'll be buying pound against dollar. All right. Uh, what else? Well, I don't do a lot of other majors of foreign currencies, so I just leave these. Or well, I mean, I said I'm looking for bearishness in the dollar, so almost not quite automatically, but almost automatically, right? USD CAD will be bearish as well, but we can see run our stops, trade higher, run buy side liquidity, run into the midpoint of this week, right? There. Now we're getting that reaction. We're looking for sell side as targets. This bullish order block will be a target for the body of that. And this is the previous month's low. I'll be looking for that to be attacked. So that's a drawn liquidity. My drawn liquidity on USD CAD, and ultimately could go, lower for these levels. Mm, okay, let's see index futures. You mean S&P, ESZ. That's the um, index futures contract for the S&P 500 December contract month. Okay, what are we seeing here? Or what am I seeing? This is January. So price went higher for the most of the year. Retraced lower. Think of an OTE. So if we have like a classic OTE scenario, right? Price trading to this order block and boom, looking for higher prices. That's like the most simple approach. But let me put some markings on it. So there is a purge, right? Run on stops. And well, like I said, short term bearish dollar. I'll be looking for long short term bullish equities, right? So I'll be looking for the previous month's high, which is last month's high, as a target, right, for buy side. Then there's this BC. I'm looking for the high of that, also as a premium target. Um, and we see this huge displacement, right? I barely even looked at my chart on NFP, which was last few days ago, right? Because I didn't trade that day, and I didn't trade since Monday last week. So I'm looking for buy side bullishness on the indices, right? Immediate S&P higher, first target here, then let's see, that's probably above equilibrium before we have, yeah. So then if when we get there, and if we keep getting confirmation of price wanting to continue higher, we'll aim for here, and well, almost like we'll be reaching for all-time highs. But it's too early to conclude on anything because, well, we'll have to see how price reacts around these levels, right? It's not necessarily compulsory for it to be animated when price gets there. You might have a deep retracement, might see a consolidation around that level. Because why could we see a consolidation? These the index futures have been trending. Look at S&P. October trending downward, then towards the end we see this bullishness, and early November we see that bullishness, right? But the dollar was held up. The dollar was consolidating, so they weren't necessarily in sync, right? The market was decoupled, and there was a cracking correlation. So if this is supposed to catch up, right, with the dollar, then they'll have to be another cracking correlation, basically. Because right now, I'm expecting the dollar going lower short term and this going higher. But when this gets higher, it looks like the premium targets are in close proximity, right? And if price gets to these premium levels, it might have to stall and just be held in a small range and consolidate while the dollar starts getting back to reaching for premium levels. So there's that. Before when dollar starts running higher with displacement, then we'll start seeing that um, movement lower in indices. So I'm looking for let's see, well, I'm looking for bullishness. I think I could see this. Remember that these are not immediate targets, right? These are not targets that have to be filled today, tomorrow, or even next week. So, but they're my targets. I'll be mainly interested. For example, like this is, I want to see price go higher, but there's room for it to go downwards, right? Like here. In fact, that's an interesting point. That price, I would like to see price correct too. That's going to be a bearish fair value gap, a good fair value gap. So that's going to be an inverted fair value gap. Right. So once price trade there, and that will be used as a spring to support price moving higher for the premium levels I'm looking for. So, so could we see um price trade down there to form the low of the week, or do we see price trade higher, hit this level, then trade down lower, then go higher? That will be left to be seen, right? So that's I'm only going to know that if I see what Monday does in terms of mode of delivery, right? Then it will be easier to anticipate what comes next. So, what next? Nasdaq, same, almost the same thing. Monthly time frame. This looks like it hits this main threshold. Consequent encroachment. I'm not sure. Only one way to find out. Not quite. It didn't get to the midpoint of that, but we can see the body stayed right up there in the premium levels of the uh, imbalance. So the price looks like it's reaching higher, but once again, too quickly because we've only had about 3 trading days in November, right? And that was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So my target buy side will be this month reaching for the previous month's high. Uh, this one thing is I think the higher time frame analysis are so easy to do, right? Like they're so easy to, it's quite easy to predict or anticipate what price is going to do next. So, but what makes the difference is what you do during the week while you wait for your setups to form. That's where, the difference is made. That's how this analysis doesn't really make you money, right? It's kind of like 50-50. Like, okay, let's just buy or sell, bullish or bearish. Like anybody could go say, "Oh, I'm bullish, I'm bearish," and get it right. Although you still see people get the analysis wrong. But what matters is how do you use it during the week? What do you follow what you're looking forward to see? Like I said, I've been bearish dollar short term and bullish currencies and um equities short term as well. So for the majority, I'll be looking for buys on these assets, right? If I'm going into my trades and I'm placing most of my leverage, most of my risk on going short, that's not necessarily following my analysis here, right? But the only thing that's going to make me do that is if I'm seeing either number one, on the lower time frame doing a counter trend trade, or the market is actually indicating to me that my analysis is wrong. Those are the only two reasons where you will see, oh, I'm going into NASDAQ and I'm mainly shorting it. I want to be going long on NASDAQ. I will only be shorting if I'm going into, say, shorting into a discount level, right? When I think, okay, say price is running lower to form the low of the week, then I'll be I could, not I will, I could be shorting towards that level, right? Because that's something I would, like to see as a target and where price would reach for. Okay. So, but ultimately, the aim is bullish prices higher short term, right? So we've had all this expansion. So it's only fair to see, a little bit of retracement, right? And that just kind of perfectly lines up with the if we're going to get a classic bullish week, right? Weekly profile where Monday is for accumulation, and into Tuesday we get manipulation lower, then we get a low of the week, then we see price start rallying higher till Thursday and get the high of the week form. Then they close on Friday, CGI 7. That's the classic bullish week, right? So bullishness on Nasdaq as well. Uh, Dow. I don't trade this a lot. I barely even trade it, but well, we have this PDRA. Fair value gap, drawn liquidity, along with the previous month's high. Price you reach for there, and that's pretty much it. That's my weekly outlook. So, in one sentence, right? Bullish dollar, bearish everything else. Basic. Nope. Bearish dollar, everything else bullish, right? Bearish dollar, bullish euro, bullish pound, bullish indices. That's what I'm looking for this week. Um, I wish everyone good luck and have a great trading week.